Hello, and good morning. Good morning to everybody. Happy 4th of July. Go ahead, leave the money bags in the chat. Today is another Plan the Profit Daily Plan. I'm your boss, Joe Boss. Alrighty, let's hop on right into the charts. We got some news out of Japan, some updates from Fukushima. They're doing some stuff to take care of the water over there. And you know what? I was just reading in this book here. I should probably change the screen capture. I was just reading this, The Failure of Risk Management, Douglas W. Hubbard. And nobody told me, oh, Joe, you gotta go get this book. Oh, Joe, you gotta, all the actuarial guys, they like to read this book. I'm like, damn, this guy's covering topics that I really enjoy studying. So I went ahead, picked it up, and I was impressed after the fact to learn who reads that damn book. Yeah. And also perfect timing on that second edition. He published the second edition of that book in February of 2020, just before all the COVID stuff hit the fan. Oh my god, perfect. Well, perfect timing. Perfect timing. And I've enjoyed reading the book so far. Let's see, we got some other things going on today. Like the 4th of July, Happy America Day, all that good stuff. And we have Aussie, Japanese, Asia Pacific, APAC, service and composite PMIs coming out. And then tomorrow we have the Eurozone service PMIs coming out. So today I would expect the Aussie to move quite significantly. I'd also expect the Australian stock market, the Chinese and the Japanese stock market to do a bit of movement today. They'll do a little bit of movement. And as you can see, we've had quite a bit of a pop here. 0.5% pop right off the bat here in Australia's stock market. Let's see here. The Japanese stock market's taken a bit of a pullback today, don't you think? Jeez. That is one serious pullback there. Let's see here. Whoa, we have definitely crossed the threshold. So we are in falling knife territory right now as far as probabilities go. Yeah, this is be very careful and be very risk aware if you're trading the Japanese stock market, because you don't come down this far all too often as far as the day usually goes. Let's see, who's here in the chat? All right. Hello, Leon. Nice to see you guys hanging around. Okie doke. By the way, if you guys want me to cover anything specific, go ahead. Tell me what you want me to cover as far as charts and whatnot goes. Stock market, sideways. Not doing too much today. And I believe Yep. Alrighty. Let's head on over to crude. I'm wondering why this is extending so far. Monday, Tuesday. Oh, it's because one of these is a short day. So yeah, the holidays making it look bigger than it actually is. I'm like, what's going on here? New Zealand dollar, absolutely. And it's very topical, actually, to go ahead and check that out. Top for the day is probably going to be coming in here just around 71 on oil. It really fell off right after that OPEC news from yesterday. It rallied and then it fell off so hard. Let's go ahead and check out Asia Pacific assets today. Let's just focus on those. Let's go start with New Zealand because you asked for it, right? Real quick, how are the yield spreads here on the day so far? Yield spreads are making some positive movement. Yield spreads are moving relatively positively. Not the most positive in the world, but they're definitely not net negative, and they're also growing positive. So this seems like one to stay long for the moment based off those yields. Also, we have moved very dramatically so far on the day, right? You're very likely topping out here. This is very likely the top for the trading day today. Going past this R2 pivot, you're dealing with a threshold now. You're probably going to go and catch a bubble if you start moving past this R2 pivot. And who knows, maybe you go to 62.2. That's definitely in the cards for the good old Kiwi. Let's check out Aussie, another APAC. Go ahead, wait for the thing to load. Yay, James, nice to see you. Happy 4th. And check that out. Went right to the edge here, where most of your odds are in this area. Right around here. So it went right to the split edge of that. Oh, just above that S1 pivot. And then came right up here to where most of your tops for the day come in. And in pivot point land, you would be interpreting this as range bound. Between S1 and R1 is range bound. And note how most trading days are range bound between S1 and R1, S1, R1, even when you have some trends. Yeah. There's a good example of compressed pivot. You get just a little bit of volatility when your pivots are compressed and you're hitting like R3 very, very easily. You're in Pound CAD. Now, I think Pound CAD will end up moving tomorrow, possibly based off of the European PMI releases coming out. Well, you know, I can go ahead and take a look at that. Pound Kitty CAD. Ooh, yield spreads are getting a little negative here on the 1 hour. How do the yield spreads look on a daily? Oh, they're very, very positive. Real quick, let's check out how our range probabilities stack up on the day. Well, something doesn't look right here. I don't know about you guys, but that doesn't look so great. So I'm going to go to a 2 hour. See if that changes up the data collection just a tad. Usually don't need to do much to get this thing to work. And there you go. It's hard to say whether or not the top is in for the day. Most of the time, your top for the day, it will probably come in around this area, R0.5, R1. So you could get a surprise jump in here. But I don't know, I'd be on the more careful side on the downside, considering how these yield spreads are now definitely getting a little more bearish short term. Yeah, probably around that S3. Yeah, now that I got these things to load right. Yeah, right around this S1, not S3, I misspoke. Right around this S1, you know, that's where I'd probably anticipate quite a decent number of my lows for a bearish trading day, essentially the same as the low for yesterday. Yeah. I wouldn't anticipate us to go past this S1.5 today unless you get some crazy volatility. But yeah, there's still some room to the downside. You just need a catalyst to come through on this. And I think that catalyst will probably come through tomorrow. One thing that I can show here on euro dollar, you guys know I've been so focused on euro dollar. If I go to a daily chart and I bring up one of my indicators called seasonal forecasts, check that out. Tomorrow, the third trading day of July, which is the 5th calendar day of July, is the single most bearish trading day by expected value. Well, based off this data for like the next 10 days, but I looked for the rest of the month, and the rest of the month is pretty sideways. Things tend to go sort of down and then skew up a bit into the latter half of the month. But the rest of this week, yeah, Eurodollar can get smacked, and we know when Eurodollar gets smacked, that can move the DXY index considerably. So I'd stay on guard. That is, if you anticipate seasonal moves to make an impact. Aussie yen also holding up here. Wow. Look at that thing. It just went down, totally reversed off that. Yikes. That's super spicy. You don't go down here all too often. Yeah, wow. This is a real slippery slope area. I bet all the people who were short here were celebrating. Oh my god, yay, we finally got the yen short. And then to watch it come through over the next 3 hours, just totally pull back. Crazy stuff. Yeah, let's go ahead and check out the pound dollar. Saw that pound. Yeah, pound's on the move. I saw it over here earlier on in the evening. Like, yeah, it's doing pretty well. It's probably topped out for the day, though. It'll probably top out around this R1 on the day. So we got a tradable event, it looks like, based off this indicator. Ooh. I don't know about you guys, but I see, I think, a binomial. Or rather, not binomial, bimodal setup here, where a lot of your closes for the day come in around here, or they come in roughly around here. So if I were a dollar bear, my baseline expectation would be something like this. That is what I would expect going into the end of day today here on the pound dollar. Yeah. But check that out. Most of the time you top out here. So this is like either today's got to be a bullish trading day, or, you know, let's go ahead and check out the yield spreads for the day. Oh, yield spreads. Yield spreads getting negative here. I mean, net, they're still good. Looks like most of the negative spread is just over the last 7 trading days. Very short-term and very long-term yield spread trend is positive. So it's kind of fighting itself from the movements it had last week. So net, I think this is still all right for some more upside based off my interpretations. Let's go ahead and check out Bitcoin. It's fallen down. Oh, yeah, we missed that expectation yesterday. Right when I was expecting it just to kind of drift a bit lower, we had this major pop up to 31.2K. What a move. What a move. So let's see. Bum. We're looking for this high data. Yeah, most of the time, get your highs around here. And your lows. Are we going to see effectively the sideways movement for the rest of the day? Are the crypto traders going to go out and grill instead of trade? Well, based off all the memes I'm seeing so far, from yesterday and early this morning, from crypto Twitter on the 4th of July, yeah, I think, I think that they're probably not going to be doing too heavy of trading. I think that the US side of crypto will be taking a break at least. Let's see, Ethereum, sideways. We can look at things maybe a bit longer term too. Wow, yeah, isn't that move was just so darn crazy. Yeah, it wouldn't. Yeah, heading back to 29K is not totally out of the cards. Looking at it, just eyeballing it, saying, "Oh, what would I do if I was looking at it here on this longer time frame?" Well, real quick, let's look at what Bitcoin will do for probably the rest of the week. Man, sometimes the indicator takes a little bit of time to load, but statistical data takes a little bit of extra love and care, Well, most of the time you top out around this R1. I'd say once you cross R1.5, you're starting to deal with very thin odds spread across a wider range. So be careful once you start getting to the 31.8. But yeah, most of the time you top out roughly around here on the day. And if we're anticipating our 4th of July low volatility, it's not the worst thing in the world to happen. Go ahead and try and reload those probabilities for the low, for the downside. Yeah. So roughly here or here. Pretty aggressive, but you know what? That looks pretty normal for Bitcoin, to be honest. How about we check out some more commodities? Gold. Let's turn on these two here. Ooh, gold probably has a little bit more room to the upside. Looks like it bottomed out already. Yeah, the low for the day on gold is probably in. And the top probably isn't. We'd probably get closer to that R1 here. So I'm thinking you get one more push to the 1940s, the low 1940s. It looks like we were right on our gold call back over here. Oh, and this was yesterday's gold call. Oh, I'm looking at weekly odds. Yeah, so I just made a forecast for the week. Yeah, this was yesterday's trade plan here. So that was, I mean, of all the trades we were looking at yesterday, I felt pretty darn good about this gold one. Yeah. And it looks like on the day today that that's that for today. So maybe we don't see this upside. However, when you look at this, the color of this distribution is like, yeah, these are actually pretty big odds and they're pretty flat. So yeah, if you, this is still in the cards here, having a risk of going up to the 1940s is still definitely in the cards for this day, believe it or not. But you got to probably risk manage that because there's a not so insignificant probability. I mean, you see this peak right here, right? You see this thing? Right? This little thing, this little hump. That tells me, hey, there's a big amount of your probabilities for where your top comes in on this trading day, roughly around this area above the R0.5 daily pivot point. But if you just push a little bit higher, you have a larger degree of uncertainty as to where your top's going to come in on the day. And this arrow that I drew isn't based off of today's odds. It's based off of the week's odds. So this is saying, hey, you know, you could see a little bit more upside and maybe top out in the 1940s area for the week. And you could probably see it today. You could probably see it tomorrow. Yeah, I'd say more likely today than tomorrow. And I'm a bit biased because, well, we just did the euro dollar analysis. The expectation was for euro to continue going lower. Remember, tomorrow, July the 5th, most negative trading day by seasonal expected value on euro dollar. And that is going to probably end up moving the DXY index lower. When the DXY index goes lower, that would, well, make gold go lower. Actually, no. It'd make the DXY index go up, right? Euro goes down, DXY goes up, my bad. And then it send gold lower. So this thing has to go up effectively now. Sorry, I got my correlations flipped. I'm a little dyslexic, right? It takes me a little while. if I don't read these things on a more moderate, slow basis, so I can fully comprehend everything that I'm reading, sometimes I flip a number or I flip a word, right? Very, very relatable, right? Especially if you're Charles Schwab. I've actually been listening to some of the free material he gives out because he has an organization for dyslexics that he helps out, and I've been looking at some of the material in there that's been getting some good stuff out of there. Certainly been helping me. Thanks, Charles Schwab. A little bit of a tirade, a little bit of a rant, but effectively what I'm saying is if my expectation to see gold go to 1940 sometime this week is to occur, it's probably going to be today. Otherwise, well, maybe we get some bang busters, European service PMIs. Maybe the service PMIs tomorrow out of Europe are phenomenal and actually really good and are showing growth. But based off of the expectations for all these super aggressive ECB rate hikes, right? Like what I said in the prior streams, how I've titled prior streams, ECB is probably making a rate mistake. And now I'm also getting commentary from traders saying the Fed, if it were to hike at the next meeting here in July, that it would also be a policy error because they would be hiking into a slowdown. Although I disagree with that analysis. I think the United States is growing still relatively well compared to the rest of the world, and actually still net positive in a lot of places. Don't get me wrong. US is down in some places very, very clearly, right? But compared to the rest of the world, it's like, I mean, yeah, the Fed could do another 25 basis points. It wouldn't kill us. But then we have a bit of a longer period of wait till the next rate hike. So this next one might be the last rate hike. And that's what the FOMC Fed Watch tool from the CME group is also forecasting. When you look at all those probabilities for the Fed rate ahead of us, one more hike, and we're done. Yep. A lot of the people who are still thinking a recession's going to occur, like myself, like, like most people, right? This is the most predicted recession, but the most unpredictable of when it's going to happen. Yeah, nutty stuff. Let's see here. I'm kind of interested in checking out the DAX today because we do have those service PMIs coming out. So let's go ahead and see where we are today as far as where we low, where we top out. Oh, looks like the low is probably in here on the day for the DAX. The thing might end up closing green, give you a bullish hammer here on the DXY. Yeah, I have a positive skew on the DXY from this point. Yeah. I certainly got a more positive skew on the DXY from here. I don't know if it'll actually go up here to the daily central pivot, but I'm going to be putting in that positive skew. How about the good old FTSE? FTSE probably topped out and bottomed out already on the day. FTSE already did its move for the day. Man, that was pretty thin. Jeez. I mean, look how flat this thing looks like. You see how there's very clearly like a big bump here where most of your lows occur? But then you look up here and it's like, yeah, you got a bump here, but that bump is kind of squished and spread out across a lot of prices. It's just like, okay, maybe you take a little here, maybe you take a little there, take a little there as far as shorts go. And man, if you were to go, if you put on any longs, I don't know if you were even able to get any decent position sizing because that thing went down for a couple hours. You had 1, maybe 2 hours to get positioned, and then this thing rocketed up. The volatility really went up. Then you sell, maybe you're selling into that. Yeah. I think the move today on the FTSE is over. Let's see. Is there anything else I could check out? I mean, NASDAQ is sideways, ES is sideways, Russell is sideways, the Dow is sideways. Just everything is just going freaking sideways right now. Is there any particular assets or stocks or anything you guys want me to go ahead and check out? I mean, I could go ahead and pull up Apple now. Also, I believe this is the version, yeah. So you see, like the last couple of streams, I pulled up Apple on a 1 hour, and there was like some graphical bug with the pivots, and I'm like, what's going on here with the pivots? The pivots aren't drawn correctly, and I realized, oh crap, I had some typo that was screwing it up for these extended sessions. I don't know why that was there. So I just pushed a little update, fixed it. And also, I noticed something, right? Because we have a holiday ahead, right? So for all you guys who have Pivots Pro, notice how tomorrow's pivots look like this on the chart. Well, I realized this and I'm like, oh, you know what? There's a really simple fix for that. So I went ahead and I added a new feature. So you can see this is version 1.3.2. Just scroll down here, and under general pivot style, there's this next period pivot multiplier. And there's a little thing that tells you exactly what it does. So all I'm going to do is set that to 2. And there you go. Just add some extra time onto it. So not only did I fix what was going on with the error over the last couple of streams today, but I also added a new little something something. There you go, guys. There you go. Let's see. Do we have any economic events coming up here? S&P Global Manufacturing PMI. Alrighty. Oh, yeah, I mentioned this yesterday. New Zealand's dairy trade. I wonder if we can actually pull up the price of dairy here, the chart of dairy. And I believe I want dairy futures. That's daily, not dairy. Okay, guess there's no. Let's see. It's Vietnam. We want New Zealand. Oh, World Dairy Price Index for the month. Yeah, check that out. Dairy price has just been falling. Oh, this is what we want. The global dairy trade, New Zealand dairy price index. Yeah. And that's what this indicator here is. Dairy trade price index. So the expected move is for it to go down to -1, or that's -1%. So yeah, that'd be fine. You know, it's not the end of the world considering how volatile this thing is. And now you can really see where this little line here can be helpful in interpreting it. Yeah, it's just so volatile. And then you look at this green and red line, makes it so much easier to look at it. Yeah, you wouldn't think in all this zigzagginess that this was an uptrend unless you had something like this to check out. Yeah, so net, things should stay relatively positive for dairy, but short term, not looking so hot for New Zealand. RBA chart pack. RBA came out as expected. Oh. Yeah, happy 4th of July. Hey, little girl. Oh, such a good little kitty cat. The cat's just free views. I'm watching my viewership go up as the cat comes in. All right. Oh, one of these days I need to like get an extra camera and get like a cat cam, right? A cat camera, just a separate camera right above me that's like right on where the cat naps, and it's just a live feed of the cat just sleeping. Yeah. Oh yeah, and look at this. So when you have that multiplier thing on, it'll do this to your charts. Just make sure you set that back to 0. This is usually just like, hey, I need to fix 1 or 2 little things. I mean, sometimes during holidays and when assets get extended throughout the trading day, or they have less hours to trade throughout a trading day, that little setting comes in clutch. And real quick, just gonna reset the settings, set that unbiased. There we go. And we don't need those. Okie doke. So, if you guys have any requests, you can go ahead and make those requests. But check this out. So, RBA came out. They left their policy unchanged. And then the thing just totally reversed on it. It went down, rocket fast, and reversed. Isn't that amazing? Like, however, I'm going to show you something here. So, range probability low, right there, smack dab at the edge. Range probability high, right around here where we expect most of our tops to come in on the day. Yeah, so, you know, see where we got some of these odds right around here. This looks like a pretty alright spot to, you know, if you wanted to take a shot long, to take a shot long. And then right around here looks like a good spot to take a shot short or to exit from these longs, right? But now we're close to the end of the day. So now the question is, what do we do now, Joe? What do we do? Well, that's where we look at the closing odds. So roughly, somewhere in this zone right here. Right, that's the shape we're working with. So somewhere between there and there. Somewhere around here will probably end the day. Does that make sense, guys? Yeah. Kitty cat's rubbing up against my legs. Hello, girl. Yes, hello, girl. Good morning. Good morning. It's like 5 o'clock in the morning right now. Hello. The cat just starts waking up. Hello. Yeah, go off. Play with your toys. Yeah, if you want to get these indicators, the link to it's in the description. It's the WAP store. But it also comes with, well, you buy this and it comes with all of my indicators. There's like 5 statistically based indicators you get access to. And there's a trading group and a chat with all my trades, right? You can see I've been shorting Eurodollar for like the last 2 weeks. Oh man, oh man. Yeah, man, I look forward to we got a grill outside in the place here that I'm staying at. Man. Do you guys have any plans for the 4th of July? I'd love to hear them. Yeah, and just FYI, thanks for everyone for tuning in, right? I had to mention, oh, you know, you can buy the indicators and whatnot, but I'm more or less interested in hearing what you guys have to say, not just about the indicators, but about my analysis, what your plans are for the day, you know, all that good stuff. And if you're just gonna lurk around, say hang out, say hi, you know, leave a like if you're new, subscribe. The channel is still pretty darn young, and I am very easily accessible in the Discord, right? Plan to Profit channel has a Discord also in the description. It's like the first link. And I post a lot of Outlook research. I think the most recent and interesting bit of Outlook's research that I got today was from Westpac. More specifically from Mr. Bill Evans. Arguably, this guy here, Bill Evans, he's arguably one of the most powerful people in Australia. No cap. He's probably one of the most powerful people in Australia. So let's see here. In that article, he just goes ahead and summarizes everything that happened with the RBA and gives Westpac, the bank's outlook. I accidentally started playing a little bit of music. You're holding on to those pound CAD cells? All right. It's good to know. We'll go ahead and check up on those tomorrow. Let's see here. All right, so they say that the reason for the unchanged rate hike, according to Westpac, is to provide some time to assess the impact of the increase in interest rates to date in the economic outlook. How general. I read a little bit of earlier analysis saying that the RBA specifically mentioned the Australian May CPI and how the May CPI came in as expected for them. So that gave them the confidence to hold rates. Let's see here. Oh, but it looks like Westpac is still... Is the cat moving my camera? Yeah, she's here on my desk now. Just like hanging out. Westpac lifted its forecast for New Zealand, for Australia's, the RBA's terminal rate. So, FYI, RBA is currently at 3.1% cash rate, and Westpac is saying that there's 50 basis points more of hikes, potentially. Man, yeah, Westpac's quite hawkish, huh? Let's see. Of most significance was the deputy governor defining the bank's measure of full employment as 4.5%, the rate required to achieve the inflation target. And Westpac says, we're a long way away from that, because the last time it printed at 3.55%, so we're still about a full percent away as far as the RBA's full employment target. So that's probably why Westpac has stronger expectations of rate hikes out of the RBA. Let's see here. Quote, language remains consistent with rate increases of 25 basis points for the RBA in both August and September, which is now Westpac's call. So that is some longer term outlook here on the RBA from Westpac. And I posted that as soon as it came out this morning in the central bank's research channel that I have in the Plan to Profit Discord. Yeah, let me know if that was helpful for you guys. Hopefully I can get access to, I'm looking for someone who maybe knows the outlooks and generally publicly available research there is for the UK, right? Because, for guys who trade a lot of pound or pound crosses, like James, but there's a lot of people who trade pound, and I'd like to widen my knowledge and my breadth when it comes down to reading outlooks and staying in the know and reading opinions on different economies, if you are familiar with an institution that publishes free, publicly available outlooks on the Great British Pound and the UK economy, feel free to post it in the the Outlooks crowdsource channel under the research that I mentioned earlier. It's right under the geopolitics channel. Which, there's some news from Fukushima. Man, check that out. Dollar yen is making lower highs and holding its lows. It'll probably end up closing roughly around here on the day, no? Does that make sense to you guys? We'd probably end up closing somewhere around in this range here, based off these odds. I wonder, where does the low usually come in? Oh, that doesn't look right. We should be right around there. Yeah, thank you guys all for watching. Absolutely appreciate it. All right. So the low for dollar yen on the day is probably in. Wow. Check that out. When you load just a bit more data, yeah, that looks more aggressively bullish. You know, we're about 2 days into the week right now. We're just getting into Tuesday here. I wonder what the week close looks like. Because, your yield spreads got positive here, and now they're getting a bit weaker around here. I mean, net, they look really good here on that 6 hour. How do they look like on the day? Oh man, those yield spreads still look super positive here on the day. Yeah, net, it's still looking pretty darn bearish for the yen, because they're not going to be changing their yield curve control. The Bank of Japan is just debating what exactly they're going to do. Every single trading outlook that I read, it's just bearish yen. And you can read a more detailed outlook from, let's say, a group like MUFG, and the M in it stands for Mitsubishi. So a lot of people out of Japan contribute to those outlooks. And they have exactly the same view, except they have it most strong. They have the most strong opinions that the Bank of Japan is going to maintain their policy, mostly because they want the Nikkei to continue jumping, right? Like, don't get me wrong, it's had this fall and this fall and this fall, but if you look at it over, the last few months, it's only net had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like, roughly alright-ish bearish days. It's Nikkei's holding in there right now. There was a serious run up and it got a super moderate pullback, and now it's just either in some sort of established range, right? We could go ahead and draw something like this. Right? You could draw something like that and say, okay, I anticipate us to stay within a range that looks like this for the rest of the month. But based off our expectations for the yen and the amount of investment going on in it, and then you go ahead and you look at these probabilities and you're like, I should anticipate my close to be somewhere between these two lines most of the time for the rest of this month. Like, if I could imagine something happening, it'd be something like this. Actually, probably be a little more dramatic than that. And then like that. If I could, look at the pattern recognition, the faulty pattern recognition stuff that goes in the human mind, look into my own mind's eye and imagine what I think would happen. That's what I think would probably happen for this month. That is based off how this looks. How about this? Let's check out pivot probabilities. Ooh, those are some bullish continuation odds there. How about to the upside for the month of July? Ooh. Yeah. I shouldn't have deleted those drawings, yeah. The high 34K here on the index. Not the most unreasonable thing in the world based off the pivot probability odds for the month ahead. All right, you guys. I've covered some macro stuff. I've covered pretty much all the charts I wanted to cover. Man, we had a lot of people watching today too. We did some forecasts as well also for gold. Gold has been pretty darn predictable the last few trading days, right? We got that one, and now we have this one, and look, we're already making our move up, right? So, thank you guys for watching. I hope you have a fantastic 4th of July. You know I'm going to. And I'm going to be hanging out in the Discord for the next 30 or so minutes. And if you need anything, you can just message me on the Plan to Profit Discord. Share your charts. Share your trade plans. And I'll see you guys tomorrow when we run into some new major macroeconomic events for Europe. And we see the results of the services PMIs for the Asia Pacific countries later today. So I'll probably be up looking at those and trading those in the Discord. So hop on in, share your charts, share your trade plans, and I'll see you guys in a bit.